They never called it digital ID, not once. And that's the whole trick. Today, I'm going to show you 3 governments, 3 different laws, 3 different names, and 1 identical outcome. By the end of this video, you'll be able to spot the pattern yourself in your own country, whatever they end up calling it there. For years, the fight over digital identity was simple. Governments proposed a national ID card. The public said no, and the proposal died. But something has changed. Nobody's proposing a national ID card anymore. Instead, 3 governments are building the exact same function through the back door, piece by piece. Each piece small enough and specifically named enough that it never triggers the same public backlash. Let me show you. In September last year, the UK government announced a national ID scheme. It was called informally Britcard. The backlash was immediate. Hundreds of thousands signed petitions against it. In January this year, the old Prime Minister confirmed it will not be compulsory. That announcement got the headlines. But here is what did not get the headlines. Underneath that scheme sits something called gov.uk, one login and a separate app called the gov.uk wallet. They were not scrapped. They were never part of the scrapping. One login is already onboarding well over 100 government services. The wallet already holds a digital veteran card with a digital driving license coming later this year. And the Cabinet Office's own published roadmap states that digital right-to-work checks will become mandatory across the entire UK labour market by the end of this Parliament. So follow the sequence carefully. They killed the thing with the name identity in its name. They kept the 2 things underneath doing the identical job. And then they made the actual mechanism, the right-to-work check, compulsory anyway. Parliament's own research briefing uses a specific term for this. They call it function creep, where a system becomes mandatory in more situations than it was originally sold on. That's not my framing. That's the House of Commons Libraries framing. One more detail on Britain, because it tells you where the enforcement priorities sit under the Investigatory Powers Act. The European Union is doing something similar, except openly, under a regulation called ELDAS 2.0. Every member state is legally required to offer its citizens a digital identity wallet by the 24th of December this year. After that, banks, telecoms, and the largest online platforms will be legally required to accept it. The European Commission calls this a voluntary citizen right. But when banks, telecoms, and the platforms you use every day are all required by law to accept it, how voluntary is it, really? If you actually want to participate in normal economic life. And here is the part reported just 5 days ago as I write this. The deadline is slipping already. Germany's own wallet will not be ready until 9 days after the legal date. Bulgaria had barely started as of December. The Netherlands has signaled delays. This is not a finished working system being handed to you smoothly. It is a legal mandate being forced through on a fixed date, ready or not. The United States has no wallet and no single bill with digital ID in the title. Instead, there is a bipartisan bill in the Senate, the Digital Age Assurance Act, which would require your phone's operating system to collect your age and pass a signal to every app you open before you are able to even open it. This is presented purely as child safety, but look closely at the bill text itself. The age signal it creates only distinguishes between 17 and under from 18 and over. Most state laws that require adult verification draw the line at 18 exactly, which means the signal this bill creates cannot actually satisfy those state laws on its own. The site trying to comply still has to fall back to a full identity check. The child safety solution does not even solve child safety. What it does is it normalizes your operating system asking for your age and identity before it lets you do anything at all. So you just look over here at the camera. 3 governments, three completely different vocabularies, a wallet, an age signal, a login system. None of them legally called digital ID, all of them requiring the same underlying thing, a verified real-world identity credential tied to your device or your government, dating what you're allowed to do online. Nobody built you a digital ID. They built you 3 pieces of one in 3 different countries, in 3 different locations, under 3 different names, and made sure none of the pieces wore the label that would have made you object. I'm not telling this to frighten you into a bunker. I am telling you because the moment that you see a pattern, it stops working on you quietly. That's the whole point of today's video. Do not just like this one or comment. Send it to one person right now who still thinks this is only about protecting children. One share to one person does more than 1,000 silent views. I want to speak to you directly for a moment. I built all of this alone, and for a long time before that, I was kind of lost, not in some dramatic way, just quietly unsure what to do next, second guessing decisions, working harder without actually moving forward. What changed things for me was finding an experienced mentor, someone who had already been where I was trying to go. That's the entire reason Monday Influencer exists. We give you direct access to the kind of thinking that senior mentors and advisors charge a fortune for, distilled and delivered every single week. So you do not have to stumble around like I did, figuring it out alone. If that sounds like something that would fit where you are right now, you can subscribe at mondayinfluencer.com, and we've got a $1 trial for month 1. Thank you.